Pisces, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-January 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the Piscean people. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me about Pisces, gang. What do you have for us in mid-January? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Pisces, gang, in mid-January. What is the vibe for us? What do you got for our friends, please? Guides and spirit team, let's see what's happening here. The last few weeks, the readings have been pretty intriguing. They usually are. Oh, okay. So we have the Queen of Cups. This just showed up in the Cancer reading too, I believe. So this must be a water sign theme. Now, for those of you that don't know, this isn't a regular tarot deck. It isn't oracle, but the symbolism that this card shows me is like almost lockstep with the Queen of Cups, which is a really powerful card for Pisces or any water sign, really. It's really nice. There's a lot of beneficial energy connected to it. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this Queen of Cups. So we see this lovely lady. She's chilling right there. It looks like she's in a chair or a throne of some sort, surrounded by the water. There's like koi fish in the pond there, and she does have her foot dipped in. So a lot of symbolism similar to the Queen of Cups. Now, that is one of our power cards as Pisces. If you're connected to another water sign, this could be them showing up here. And I always say that queens represent the internal aspect of their suit. So water, cups, represents the realm of emotion, creativity, love, romance. So when I see her showing up here, it's like, all right, those themes could be important for a lot of the Pisces collective. Maybe the creative juices are flowing. Maybe you're feeling a little more lovey-dovey. But since you're also a water sign, this could represent self-confidence, how you feel about yourself, how you're treating yourself. So be kind to yourself when this card shows up. You might need some self-love, self-care. Now, the challenges that come along with the Queen of Cups, yes, sometimes there could be things bothering her and she doesn't really want to talk about it. She could be a little secretive sometimes. She could suppress things, so watch out for things like that in this time. But I feel like this could be a good thing. We're just going to leave her over there. She could keep chilling with the koi fish. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Pisces, gang. And while we get this deck ready and shuffled up, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled A Serious Situation. Now, the big thing I was picking up is that there could be a situation or something that pops up that you might need to pay a little bit more attention to. Okay, so that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. So it's like, all right, if there is something that needs your attention, act quick. Or if there is something that is serious to you, it's like, keep focused on it. Like, don't ignore it, don't suppress it. So we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Pisces, gang. What do you got for us in mid-January? What's the vibe here from your friends? Here we go. Card 1. Ooh, aggressive. A little aggressive for our taste, huh? 5 of Swords in position number 1. Not sure if that's you or somebody else. We're going to have to look at that. I mean, some Pisces, maybe some of you are a little grumpier than normal when this card is here. Doesn't have to be terrible. It could be a determined card. Let's get a couple more out. Let's see what happens. Thank you. 6 of Swords. Lots of sword energy here. All right, this could be good. Things calming down. Great energy for problem resolution when I see these 2 cards coupled together. Let's get one more. Let's get one more here for Pisces. Thank you. 4 of Swords. Interesting. So it's like we have 4, 5, 6, but in a bit of a different order. We have the 4 of Swords right here on the back end, which I think is a pretty good card. We're just going to have to see how this all plays off of each other. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, obviously we're looking at one solid element here. I always look at the elements first because they could really point out a lot of important things to us. And yeah, all swords, which is all air. Now, when it comes to the air element, it could be a little up in its mind. It could be a little in its head, because this is the element of thought. So very active mindset. Um, when I see so much air energy, either it's something that needs to be spoken about, because it's communication too. So whether it's talking, a lot of communicating, or just something on someone's mind, like on repeat, this amount of air energy is a little lopsided. So there is someone up in their head about something. So we'll see how it all plays out when we get into the particulars. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one is the card that I'm definitely eyeing up, because these two on the back end they're chill. It's a nice vibe. It's calm, and the way energy flows, it's like really rough and aggressive. Things improve, nice and chill. So it's like the energy does seem to settle down, but the Five of Swords is no joke, right? Now, I always say all cards have positives and challenges. You see this person there, and it's an image of a dude. He has all the swords in his hands because he just beat the tar and he beat the crap out of the guys in the background. So in the positive, I'll give you the positives first. This is a card of determination, self-focus. So for some Pisces, doing what's right for yourself, doing what's right by yourself. I know Pisces are generally very empathetic people, and you feel deeply and you feel for others, and you want to help people as much as possible. When we see this card, it's like, no, I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to do what's right for me and mine. It's like giving me that type of vibe. Very determined, where it's like, I am not going to quit until I get what I want. So whether that's you or somebody else, it's like very, it's like tunnel vision on something, which doesn't have to be bad. But when it comes to the challenges, this is a card of conflict. This is a card of aggression. It's anger. It's mad. It's just a lot. Now, it could be selfish people too. So just what I said about doing what's right by yourself, it could be put to the extreme where you might have an individual around you that's a little selfish. Like they don't really care about anything or anyone else. Okay, and sometimes it links to narcissistic people too. I'm not going to ride that train too much, but it's just something to note. So we'll see. Obviously, this is a card that we want to explore further. Now, moving to the center, I do like that we have the next numerical card over. We go from the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords, because it goes in perfect order. Now, we see this individual, they are on a boat, and they're coming out of the choppy waters into the calm. So on a big scope, it is something improving, something getting better. Problem resolution, dealing with situations. It's like, all right, I've handled this. So I think the energy does start to take a little step back, and it calms down quite a bit. And this could be really, really good. However, this also does have some challenges. Now, aside from the challenges, it could represent distance and travel and all that stuff. But in the challenge, the Six of Swords could sometimes be avoiding. It could be someone who says, you know what, I'm feeling this way, but I'm not going to discuss it. Or if they feel too intensely about something, they have a flight response, right? That could be a big thing with this card when we look at the challenges of it. Someone that runs away, okay? Someone that doesn't face something head on. So we're going to want to look at this further for sure. But I feel like it could be good, especially with the way all the energy flows. I'm just picking up so much air energy. Just watch your mind, watch your thought process in this time. Either that or there's someone you're connected to. They're like really going through it. So we'll talk about this Six of Swords a little more. Now, on to the back end, we do have Four of Swords. Look at that. It's a person that looks like they're just sleeping, chilling, or meditating. Okay, so it's like we go from the anger to the Six of Swords to the Four. Quiet, chill. So for some Pisces, things might get very quiet, scarily quiet. It's like all quiet on that front. Oh, what's going on there? Could be very intriguing for some of you. This card, in its positive sense, it ties into spirituality, spiritual practice, deep state meditation, very interesting dreams. It could represent sleep as well. So for some Pisces, make sure you're getting proper rest. You could be having some really funky dreams with this card. But when we go to the challenge of the Four Swords, it can represent a stuck energy where it's like, okay, I made some progress, but I feel a little stuck, like I'm treading water, or it could be a problem that crops up, obviously. So we'll see how it flows. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about it for us, but just the way the energy flows, there's just a little too much air for me, for my liking. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it, Pisces. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Pisces, gang? Please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels for me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Five of Swords. See what that grumpiness is about. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Pisces, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's go in on that Five of Swords. Why is that Five of Swords here, please? Why is it here? Thank you. Knight of Pentacles. Yes, something might just need a little bit of time. Now, for some of you, watch out for issues with an earth sign in particular, the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. This could be a talk that gets a little bit wild. All right, so I'm feeling a few different things. If there is somebody that you are not quite seeing eye to eye with right now, or when you talk to this person, they either get a certain response out of you or you get a certain response out of them. Whatever this energy here is saying, it could be spirit like, listen, you need to give it a little more time. Or it could just be a conversation that gets a little out of hand. Like, that's just how it feels to me, because the Knight of Pentacles is a messenger as well. So when I see it with the Five of Swords, watch out for arguments, watch out for conflicts and anger. Now, we'll see how the energy flows. But I will say this, if you feel like you're bumping heads with someone or there's a lot of friction, take a step back as quick as possible, just for the time being. Like, that's a big energy I'm picking up here. There could be someone that is upset, angry, mad. I mean, with all the air energy we have on the top, this could be someone that's up in their head too. So we'll see if I pick up any nerves, but it just feels a little too aggressive for me. So there might be, again, either a conversation that gets a little wild, gets a lot out of hand, a little explosive. It's like a big conflict I'm picking up here. So again, either give something a little bit more time or don't address it quite yet. We're going to keep moving, because this might be where the resolution comes. But we're going to keep going. I mean, that was a peculiar way to start. I mean, this could also just represent someone being set in their ways, too. Like, for some of you with the Five of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, it's like, no, they are who they are. They are who they are. So let's see what that Six of Swords has. That person is most definitely set in their ways. So why is the Six here? Yeah, it is better to avoid the conflict at this point, or it's better to avoid in general. And listen, that is a very, very rare message to hear from me. Yes, I'm a Pisces rising, I'm part of the Pisces gang, but listen, I have Aries placements, I have Scorpio placements. To me, when problems pop up, I am all about attacking it head on and solving it as quick as possible. I feel in this time, for all of us, including myself, if something does pop up, now is not the time. Now is not the time. Try not to give a lot of energy to it, because look, we have the Six of Swords with the Seven of Wands in reverse. So try not to inflame anything. Like, this card, when it's in the upright, is a card of battling. It's a card of forcing something. It's a card of like getting that last word in, or just forcing your will on something. So when we see it in reverse, it's like, listen, with the Six of Swords and this, it's like you got to either give this some time or avoid it for the time being. Okay, so either there's a person or a situation that you probably should avoid for the short term. Okay, and listen, I've almost never given that as an advice. I don't like to give too much advice in a reading, but I feel like it would be much more energetically beneficial for you to avoid. Okay, so even if this is something that hasn't even popped up yet, if you do start getting into a tense situation this coming week, remember what I'm saying. The less you give to it, the better. Let's keep moving over to the Four of Swords, at least in the short term. At least in the short term. So let's see why the Four of Swords is here. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So what's going on with the Four? What is it here for Pisces? Okay, cool. All right, so we have one of our power cards here. Again, we have the High Priestess in reverse. You might need a little bit more information and insight into something, because when she shows up in reverse, it's like the unknown becoming known. So I will say this, for a lot of Pisces, if you're in any situations where you don't know all the facts, or you're a little confused by someone's behavior, when I see the Four of Swords and our card, High Priestess in reverse, it's like, all right, well, you're not really going to have to do much to get a full understanding of this. It's like the energy will come to you. So I would say in this time, it would be best to not chase things. It would be best to not pressure things, let things flow. And again, as a mutable sign, which is a changeable sign, we're pretty good at that. That's a strength of Pisces, right? We're pretty good at going with the flow and just, it is what it is type thinking. So when I see the Four of Swords with our card in reverse, it's like, listen, you just chill. You just take a breath, chill, and let it come to you, whatever it might be. So whether it is information, whether it is an individual, it's like attract it in, don't chase it down. So again, don't force, don't attract. I mean, don't force, don't chase, pull it in, okay? Because if you try to force anything or fight back against something, it's only going to become more difficult. That's the most bizarre thing. So I wasn't expecting a reading like this week, Pisces. I really wasn't. And I love when the High Priestess shows up for us, even in reverse. That's a good thing for me in a Pisces reading because it's clarity. So again, if you're looking for information, that information is going to come to you. If you're looking for insight, it's going to come to you. It's like just you attract it in, you do not chase it down. Don't force it. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. So very peculiar reading, totally different than last week. But if you kindly look in the box, there is definitely somebody showing up here that's high strung, whether they're angry or on edge or nervous. It's just very high strung. Position number one, we have the Five of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles in the upright. So either this is a talk that gets out of hand, like a conflict or an explosive argument or something like that. It's just something that gets a little wild. So I would watch out for any communications like that. It would be best to not give energy like we see coming up. And I was saying that before this even came out. This could also represent someone you're connected to that's either very set in their ways or someone that is very grouchy, grumpy about something. Okay, and it's like this energy, you need to give it time. Moving to the center, we have the Six of Swords with the Seven of Wands in reverse. Best course of action is to not engage or to not chase it, not force it. It's like the more you involve your energy, the worse it's going to get. So again, either you take a step back if things start getting tense, don't feed the flame. Moving to the back end, we have the Four of Swords with the High Priestess in reverse. If you're looking for information, if you're looking for insight, if you're waiting for a person to make a move or take an action, that's how it should be. You should not be chasing. You should not be forcing. You need to attract it in and just let it come to you. And with this here on the back end, that's what it shows me is going to happen. So please take a screenshot. I mean, interesting reading this week. Let's see what's in the shadows for us. So let's shuffle it up one time. What do we got for Pisces, gang? Please, my guides, what's going on? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for Pisces, please? Guides, what do we got? Thank you. 10 of Pentacles. So that's a very positive shadow card. Now, we'll talk about the shadow side of it, but when I see the 10 of Pentacles, I think of level up type of energy. I think of wins and victories. It's very abundant, very grounded and firm, and that could be a great thing. So when we see it in the shadows, it's like Pisces, you got something great coming in, even though you don't quite see it just yet. So that could be very claimable. But when we talk about the shadow side of the 10 of Pentacles, it could represent issues with the family and could represent issues within the home. Sometimes the 10 of Pentacles could be very sturdy and grounded to the point where it's stubborn. So if you are dealing with an individual that is extremely set in their ways or stubborn, they're showing up in the shadows too, where spirit is just saying like, listen, there is nothing you are going to convince this person of. There's nothing you can say or do to change this person's mind. Okay, they're set in their ways. So I'm not sure how that all applies to every single Pisces out there, but I would say this can be good. It doesn't have to be that rough message. It can be like a win coming in. So Pisces, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The January subscriber surprise. If you would like to get a personal reading from me and get a little forecast for what 2025 has in store for you, you can check out my website and digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com to look for availability. But for the January subscriber surprise, we are once again giving away 3 copies of the beautiful Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what is your main goal for the 2025 calendar year? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab as usual, my friends. Much love, and I'll see you soon.